Friends, welcome back to NRI Samay weekend show. This is Sri Hari. I'll be today's host, and we are really proud to have SP Udayakumar sir with us. If you are following any Indian news this year, SP Udayakumar needs no introduction. He is at the forefront of the Kudankulam Nuclear protest. But just to give a little bit background about him, he was born in Nagercoil in 1959. He went to school and college in Nagercoil, did his first master's in English literature in Kerala University, second one in peace studies in University of Notre Dame in Indiana, and Ph.D. in political science at University of Hawaii. He taught English in Ethiopian high schools for six years and studied and worked in United States for about 12 years. He teaches many courses in several universities around the world. So this perspective probably a lot of us don't realize because the way we know is you are at the protest side with the rest of the protesters, and you are either doing a fasting or you are in a news conference or things like that. So how long have you been in the protest? It's not just this year, right? Or protesting the nuclear plant, I mean. It's not just this year, right, Uday, sir?
No. Actually, I started even when I was a school student, a college student, when the project was proposed in the 80s. I had a group of my friends called Group for Peaceful Indian Ocean, and we were talking about possible nuclear warfare between Soviet Union and the United States and Britain and France. They all had the bases in the Indian Ocean. So we were protesting against that. We demanded that those forces be removed from the Indian Ocean. So from that time onwards, I was, doing some kind of protest against nuclear weapons and nuclear power. So that was the beginning. But then I got fully involved into this only in the late 90s when Boris Yeltsin and Devagowda, Indian Prime Minister Devagowda, retook the project, the Kudankulam project, in the late 1990s. That time I was in the US. I had come back home for a visit, so we organized people here in Nagercoil and founded an organization. Then when I was back in India permanently in 2001, I met with some of the older protesters, the leaders who were protesting against this power plant, like Mr. Y. David, Mr. George Gomez, and Dr. Lal Mohan and others. We started this people's movement against nuclear energy in 2001 November. So ever since I have been part of it.
Okay, great. So since then, you are part of this this organization who is against the nuclear power, right? And you're also teaching in the universities.
Well, I've been working as a visiting professor in quite a few places around the world, especially in the United States and Europe. Yes, I've been teaching courses on conflict resolution, conflict transformation, globalization, non-violence, human rights, etc.
I mean, you have such a great career, especially you visited so many countries and you are much educated than people you are representing. So how did the trust factor come for these people who are mostly fishermen? How do they trust you to be their leaders? How did you build that relationship? I am really blessed to have been accepted by these honest and hardworking people. I am extremely pleased and I'm really happy that I'm blessed that I am able to put all my education and experiences to their struggle. And they also see someone who is genuinely interested in their welfare. So it's kind of a mutual process. And I'm learning a lot of things from them. The integrity, the honesty, the hard work, and the ability to listen, the ability to
express themselves better through creative ways. So actually, I am learning a lot from these people, and I'm saying it with a lot of humility that it is me who I am learning from these people and not the other way around.
Okay, excellent, sir. Earlier on NRI Samay, we spoke to Milton. He is one of the fishermen. I'm sure you are aware of him because he is also, I think, a leader. Yes. And he spoke not very fluent, but he spoke some English, and he is very knowledgeable. And what I heard is these fishermen, even kids, are very knowledgeable about the consequences and what is happening in Kudankulam. So how did that come along? You guys educated mutually, or because it's not a typical fisherman we see across other places of India, right?
That's right. It's been a long learning experience for all of us. From 2001 onwards, I have been visiting all these fishing villages along with Mr. Y. David, Mr. George Bonus, and Mr. Almohan and all. And we would descend on a particular village and talk to the people about the harmful effects of radiation, what is radiation, how is radiation get produced in nuclear power plant, and what are the experiences of people in other countries, and all these details in Hindu Tamil language. And if you go to Trivandrum, we would speak in Malayalam. And so this has been a mutual learning process. As we teach, as we speak to these people, we used to gather more information, educate ourselves, and share those information with the local people. So we all learned with each other. That's how we came to this point.
Okay, awesome, sir. And the protest has been going on for several months now, and people are still there at the protest center, and it's a big challenge, right? Because we heard news earlier in this year that they're not allowing food there, and there's no medical facilities or any sort of medical assistance. That is on one side, and the other side is these folks were supposed to be doing fishing, and that's their lifestyle. But now they're not going. So how are they surviving in terms of just food or money or things like basic needs?
Well, the protest has been going on for almost 440 days now, and yes, the government is trying its level best to break the will of the people by imposing prohibitory orders, by falsing false cases, very dangerous cases, such as sedition, waging war on the state, and all kinds of nonsensical cases, including murder charges. And they have been isolating us, by not letting public transport come, by stopping vehicles with essential supplies and all that. People from our villages are not able to go out because we face the threat of police arrest. And people from outside can also not come to our villages very easily. And it's really very hard to believe that we live in a democratic country. It is not run like a democratic country, but by both the Delhi government and the Chennai government. They're all behaving like Ethiopians, and they're treating us as some kind of a multi-vertical operation, where the Sri Lankan government isolated all these Tamil people and kept them, under gunpoint. Well, to answer the second part of your question, people are going fishing. It's only when we have an intensified struggle that people don't go to fish. Otherwise, right now, people are going fishing, and they mobilize enough income for their family, and they also contribute 10% of their income every 10 days for the struggle. In fact, we don't require too much money because this is a Gandhian-style struggle, and our requirements are very few. We don't offer any food or anything, drinks or anything to the people who come to visit us. We only provide safe drinking water, and we are not traveling anywhere. We are not organizing any grand programs. We are not erecting any huge cutouts or anything. We don't stay in five-star hotels. So our needs are very few, and our lifestyle is very simple. We eat very humble food. So we really don't need too much money. So this is a typical Gandhian struggle, which the corrupt political parties in India do not understand, especially Congress and BJP. They don't understand the Gandhian ethos in public life. They don't understand simplicity in public life. So they accuse us of getting money from America and all kinds of foreign forces and all. No, our people are hardworking, honest people who earn their livelihood with their hard work, not like these politicians who plunder the hard-earned money of our ordinary people. So there's a remarkable difference between them and us.
Yeah, you mentioned both Congress and BJP. Actually, that's one of my questions I wanted to ask. In general, in any issue in a democratic country, the ruling party and opposition party, they tend to take side. If one ruling party is supporting one person, the opposition kind of opposes it, and vice versa. But this is probably one of the strangest protests. It's such a mass protest, but both ruling party and the opposition, they almost, I mean, BJP almost ignores this issue. They don't even talk about it, and Congress ridicules it, like you mentioned about the foreign money and various other things. They ask how much money is each person being paid to come and protest, kind of things. So that's a very peculiar case. Can you, from your perspective, why do you think both ruling party and the opposition alienated this?
Yes, all these betrays the fact that they're all, working for cuts and commissions and to plunder the public coffers. There's hardly any difference between Congress and BJP. Both parties are interested in getting the cuts out of all these multi-billion-dollar business. So it's only the political jealousy that the Congress party is getting all the money and all the favors. So BJP would rather be in their seat and get all the money that that is available there in these so-called development projects. Not just at the national level, also at the state level, DMK and AAA-DMK, both are bitter rivals, are supporting the Kudankulam project. The same thing. It's all about money. These corrupt political parties and their corrupt leaders are not interested in the welfare of the country or the people. They are all interested in making $1 million cut from all these projects. These are all crooked, selfish, profiteering, self-seeking, corrupt elements. They are not there for people. If they were there for the people, they would have planned with enough foresight and would have produced enough electricity for the people and done a lot of things for the country. Now, the Prime Minister of the country has gone on record without any kind of shame, saying that 42% of our children are born malnourished. Now, just tell me, isn't it a shameful thing? The Prime Minister of a country going on record saying that 43% of our children are born malnourished. Then our question is, what the heck have you been doing for all these 65 or so years? The country has been independent and free, and here you are saying that 42% of our children are born malnourished and the nursing mothers don't get enough nutrition. 600 million, almost half of our population don't have basic toilet facilities. 600 million people, almost half of our people are scraping along with less than 20 rupees a day. Now, these corrupt political elements are not there for the people, but for their own power, for their own popularity, for their own money.
Okay. Sir, coming back to the nuclear plant, many would argue, the proponents of the nuclear plant would argue that this benefits the country because it produces energy in an exponential way than in any other method, and they say it's a cheaper way. And also, if you look at India's plans, they are going to build a lot more of the nuclear plants in the next 50 years is the projection what they have. So in terms of the needs of the energy, and nuclear plant is one of the solutions. What is your perspective on if we put the Kudankulam issue aside once, as an overall, as a nuclear plant as a solution for the energy, what is your opinion on it?
No, they are misleading the people and misinforming them. And if you look at the current scenario, we produce hardly 2.7% of electricity from the nuclear sector, which is insignificant and negligible. And if you look at the amount of money that we have pumped into this sector, they should have delivered a lot more. The Department of Atomic Energy was constituted in 1948, and now this is 2002. Just do some simple mathematics. Look at the money and the amount of resources that has been put into the sector, and look what we get out of this. In 1998 May, when we exploded all these nuclear bombs, the authorities, the Department of Atomic Energy authorities said, oh look, it's not just the electricity that we have delivered. We may be a failure on that front, but look at the bombs. We have produced nuclear bombs and made the country a superpower. Out of the 6 bombs exploded, 2 of them did not explode. Said, not me, not my friend, but Ashok Parthasarathi and Sandanam, who are part and parcel of the establishment scientists. So their performance has been very dismal. And the nuclear energy is not going to be the answer for our energy needs. Yes, India needs energy. Yes, we need development. But nuclear energy is not going to be the answer, because even developed countries such as Germany and Japan are going to phase out nuclear power. The whole world is walking the other way. And we don't want one overseas company to drag us down in the opposite direction. Let's think like a creative leader. Let's think like original leaders and to produce enough electricity from the solar power. If Germany can produce solar power with profit in their country where 6 months of the year they don't get any sunlight, we can do wonders in our country. We have 7,000 kilometer long coastline. We have enough wind-rich areas in this huge country. So let us think like leaders and let us put the interests of our people first. We are a highly developed, we are a highly populated country. We are a densely populated country. Anything small that happens will have disastrous consequences for millions and millions of our people. So let us think like a creative, original leader, put the people first, and think of alternative ways of producing electricity, and not to prop up the American and the French and Russian economies by buying their, outdated technology, such as nuclear technology. That is our stand.
Okay, sir. If we take the example of how the incident in Bhopal couple of decades ago was handled, basically there is an explosion of chemicals in Bhopal, and as we know, thousands of people have died, and there's even a lot more people are suffering even until today. Mm-hmm. And right. The concern is that the government or the company which set up now, bought by Dow Chemicals, they are not taking the ownership of giving some medical assistance to these people and their livelihood. So is that a concern? Do you think there is you can draw any analogy from there, and how an accident will be handled in case of a nuclear disaster?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, because this exactly happened 27 years ago. 27 years ago, the Union Carbide industry had an accident, and there was the worst industrial disaster anywhere in the world. And how did Rajiv Gandhi, who was the Prime Minister, and Arjun Singh, who was the Congress Chief Minister in Bhopal, handle? They took Warren Anderson on a special flight, took him to Delhi, offered him tea, and sent him back to his country. He was not held accountable to the accident. He was not made or forced to pay any compensation. Our poor Indian people suffered. People are still suffering. 27 years later, they haven't managed to clean up that waste site. The dangerous cyanide waste is still lying there. How many prime ministers have come and gone? How many chief ministers have come and gone? But the people are still suffering. No compensation. no help, no rehabilitation, no removal of waste. And these fellows are asking us to trust them and to be happy with a nuclear power plant built with Russian technology and Indian management. This is really pathetic and ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good point you raised. Going to a practical scenario in Kudankulam now, the plant, the building of the plant is almost complete, and now there's news that they are fueling this nuclear plant. And so, in this scenario, do you think they will actually stop the nuclear plant, or what is the ideal case scenario?
They have to. They have to. This is not part of Soviet Union. This is India. This is the Republic of India, Democratic, Secular, Socialist Republic of India, and the people will reign over anything else. It is not Manmohan Singh or Sonia Gandhi or Narayana Swamy who decide things. It is the people of India, the citizens of India decide things. So we are in charge, and we will resist to the maximum and prevent them from opening this plant.
Okay. And one of the, apart from the Manmohan and Sonia Gandhi, one of the proponents which is widely accepted as a very balanced person, the Abdul Kalam actually came to the site and he announced that this is a very safe nuclear plant. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, Dr. Abdul Kalam is not an authority on nuclear power, and he knows nothing about this technology. And how on earth can he give a good certificate when he is not a nuclear expert and doesn't know anything about it? Can he operate a nuclear power plant? Does he know anything about a nuclear power plant? Nothing. And even before he came down, he wrote one full-page article in a leading English newspaper and came down here to Kudankulam, went around the plant for a couple of hours, and gave a clean sheet to the project. So if he was a fair-minded, balanced, and well-informed scientist, he should have come. As a former president of the country, he should have come, talked to the people, assured them of whatever he knows, whatever information he had, and gone around the project for a couple of days, inspected everything, if at all he understood the technology and the whole functioning of the power plant, and then wrote the article in the paper, talked to the people, then he would have been, he would have accepted the whole visit and his intervention. But here is somebody who has made a profitable living out of the government's position, all the important positions he has held in the government, and supported the state and the state structure, benefited from it, showed up all of a sudden, and then started saying that everything is fine and dandy and we just fall in line. No, we are not the slaves of Dr. Abdul Kalam, and Abdul Kalam is not our master.
Okay. And even Jayalalitha, in the beginning stages, earlier this year, even last year, she was protesting the nuclear plant, but then later in this year, she said she agrees that it's a safe one, and I think she's okay now. She's not protesting anymore on this nuclear plant. So, what had happened and what changed things?
Well, Ms. Jayalalitha opposed the visit of the U.S. warship, nuclear-powered ship, USS Nimitz, in 2007, when it was going to be anchored in the Madras port. She opposed the India-US nuclear deal quite vehemently. And she has been an anti-nuclear person all along. And even when we started the protest last year, when we intensified it, she came up with a statement in support of the project on the third day of our hunger strike, and then changed her position, had a meeting with us, held talks with us, and she changed her position, convened her ministry, and passed a resolution to stop the work at the plant. But in March 2012, this year, she all of a sudden changed her position without giving an explanation. She did appoint a 4-member committee, and that 4-member committee had M.R. the former head of the Atomic Energy Commission, in that. And so we couldn't accept him because how can we have our opponent as the judge? So we objected to that. She didn't mind, and she didn't bother about that. They gave a clean, favorable report on the project, and then she changed her position. We don't know exactly what is happening. She is facing a disproportionate wealth case that's going on in Bangalore. I don't know if the corrupt establishment in Delhi offered her something. They struck a deal on that, or if Mr. Melissa wants to be the Prime Minister of India and she cannot really do away with the Department of Atomic Energy, which is an important part of the government. So she is trying to appeal, or she doesn't want to stop this Russian power project because that will create a problem for the American India-US deal and the upcoming American projects in the Srikakulam district in Andhra Pradesh, Bhavnagar district in Gujarat. So any number of reasons could be there for her changing the position, but we don't care about that. We are not here in the estate, the private estate of Ms. Jayalalitha or Mr. Manmohan Singh. We are the proud and powerful citizens of the Republic of India. We will do whatever we can to establish our rights and entitlements through non-violence and ahimsa. If they want to kill us, they can kill us.
Okay. A few months ago, at least about 6 months ago, this is almost like a hot topic in national media, the protest and how people are involved and how much people are there, and even the gossip news were coming when Prime Minister is saying this is a foreign funded and so forth. But later on, actually we don't see a lot of you in the media, and so you kind of took a break, or I know you are still protesting. I know we see you every other week at least doing some protest. So is that something happened that kind of slowed you down, or what happened?
No, I'm not sure if I quite caught your question. Actually, there is no this is absolute nonsense to say that we are getting foreign funds and foreign help. Let's use our common sense. If American or Scandinavian or someone else wants to stop this project, will they call up one of the corrupt Congress ministers in Delhi, give him the money and to stop the project, or would look for an unknown entity who has no name, no face, no nothing, who lives in the southernmost town called Nagercoil, which is out of the way place, and to fund the whole project and go through the whole 450 days long process? Let's use our common sense. These guys are all lying between their teeth. These are a bunch of liars. They are plundering the people of India. So there is absolutely no truth in the fact that we are foreign funded. We are not. I mean, who is accusing us of getting foreign funds? The guys who are selling the country, selling the rich and wonderful country to Americans and the French and the Russians. And these guys who are getting commission out of every single thing in this country are blaming us of collaborating with foreign hands and foreign money. It's absolutely ridiculous and nonsensical.
Okay, sir. What is the next stage of the protest? What do you have any events planned, or the yes, protest is going to continue until, I mean, it can continue forever, right? So are there any milestones that you guys are setting up?
Yes, tomorrow, October 29th, we are holding in front of the State Secretariat in both in Chennai and in Trivandrum. Thousands of our supporters are going to lay a siege to the Tamil Nadu Secretariat tomorrow morning, and also to the Kerala Secretariat in Trivandrum. And we have also planned quite a few other things, small things in different district towns and district headquarters. On November 21, which is the International World Fisheries Day, we are going to strike in all the 13 coastal districts in Tamil Nadu and the 9 coastal districts in Kerala. And we are also going to hold demonstrations, public demonstrations in the district headquarters of all the 22 districts on that day. And we are also going to release a letter to all the embassies that are in Delhi and Chennai day after tomorrow, requesting the heads of state and heads of governments around the world to abandon nuclear power and nuclear bombs, so that the world will be there. The earth, the beautiful, wonderful earth will be there for our children and grandchildren. So we are going to deliver all these letters on the 31st of October. Our campaign will continue. It will be non-violent, peaceful, and we will stretch it to the maximum limit. We do not believe in violence. And if the Indian state unleashes violence on us, we will take it. And we will make them accountable, responsible, and the whole international community is watching. If they want to kill us and eradicate us and sell the country to Russians, Americans, and the French, let them do it. But they will be able to do it only with our blood on their hands, and they will be put to shame.
Sir, one last question towards the end, maybe two more questions. So now, are they offering you any relocation package, or have they done it? Or if they do, would you accept? If they say, okay, we'll put you in a much safer place. I know there are probably 1 million people there. I can't see how they will relocate so many people, but is there anything like that in talks, or has there been something like that?
Yes, they are trying to bribe us with 500 crore package. And this 500 crore package, Abdul Kalam said 200 crore package, and Jayalalitha made it 500 crore package. This 500 crore package includes laying roads, wide roads, and building houses for the people, and building advanced hospitals. Now, our question is, why do we need hospitals? We are living a beautiful, healthy lifestyle here by eating the fresh fish that we catch from the sea. And why do you bring this dangerous, wasteful thing and build advanced, high-tech hospitals? Because you know that we are all going to become sick. And why do we need 6-lane roads? So that we will all be able to run when the nuclear power plant explodes or when something happens there. We don't need these things. And these corrupt politicians should not think that people in India are up for sale and they can buy our integrity for 500 crore rupees. The people have rejected it, and we are not going to fall for it. And our struggle is not for building new buildings or houses and hospitals. Our struggle is to retain the Indian democracy. Our struggle is to country independent and free. Our struggle is to prevent this nuclear mafia taking over our country. Our struggle is to prevent all these American, Russian, and German and French nuclear power plants coming up and spoiling our natural resources, our coastal wealth, our seafood, our future, and our natural resources. This is a struggle to retake India, not to sell India. So we are not going for any kind of compromises or sale.
Sir, I want to read out one of the messages we got on nrisamay.com. A listener, Somu Kumar from Washington, D.C. is saying, Uday, it is one of most democratic and peaceful struggle in recent times, and I congratulate the people of Udaykumar for their valiant fight. Leaving aside
Thank you so much.
He continues saying.
Did I get what?
He continues saying, leaving aside the question of nuke energy is needed or not for a minute, the struggle has taught people of India that how people united can face mighty government. So that's what he's saying. So it's very nice to say from Somu.
Yes. I know Somu very well, even when I was living in the country, in the United States. And thank you, Somu. And this is the spirit. This is a struggle between like a huge mammoth and small ants. We are the ants and they are the mammoth. They have the military power, they have all the money and all the muscle power, They have the backing of Russians and Americans and the French and all, but we may be small, we may be powerless, but we are the original owners of this country. It's not Manmohan Singh, it's not Sonia, it's not Karunanidhi, it's not Jayalalitha. We are workers, the servants of our people. They come and go. Of course, they steal a lot as they work, but they are servants. We are the masters, and we will establish that in this country, people will prevail, and we will make sure that it happens.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate you taking so much time and spending time with us. Before I let you go, is there anything you would like to say to the listeners of NRI Samay? We have people across the world.
Yes, I do. I myself was an NRI for almost 25 years. I worked in Ethiopia, and I was in Scandinavia, I was in Europe, and in the United States for 12 years. I have great respect for the NRIs. They are hardworking, sincere, committed, patriotic people. And please understand that this is our struggle against India's development. Electricity, we want development in our country. We want our people to live a higher class of life. So it is not that we are against the westernization or accepting Western technology or developing our people. It's not that. What we say is all the country has to develop. It's not just urban middle class in the city centers. People, the fishermen, the Dalit workers, and the peasants, the farmers, they are also human beings, and their lives should also be developed. And we cannot, we cannot let the cities grow at the cost of the rural areas and the rural population. So our struggle is to retain our freedom. Our struggle is to make the whole country grow. We are interested in sustainable development. The NRI community can understand all these ideas much better than our middle class that is in India. So we need the support and the understanding of the NRI community. We cannot do anything in this country without your sympathy and support. So please support us. All we are interested is in India's even growth, sustainable development, appropriate technology, where the poorest of the poor will also have the basic necessities of life. I appreciate all your time and
Uday sir, if you have one more minute, I have a last question. It's from a listener. His name is Sripal. He is from United States. He's asking if nuclear reactor is not safe, why country like USA will have a reactor 60 miles away from the population? He is talking about a reactor. I think it's in San Diego.
Yes. Sripal, United States has not built any new nuclear power plant after the 3 Mile Island. And until George Bush became the president of the country, no other president pursued the nuclear power with any great interest. It was George Bush Jr., of course, who initiated this. And then Barack Obama mindlessly followed his policy. And if you take in Soviet Union, Russia, the same story. After Chernobyl, nothing new has been built in that country. If you look at developed countries like Germany and Japan and Belgium, they're all going back. Nuclear technology is not the safest way of producing electricity. If it is safe and 100% wonderful, why does American subject to Iranians and North Koreans nuclear power program? So nuclear power program is not all about producing electricity, it is all about producing nuclear weapons, which is not in the best interest of people like you and me. So that is the reason. America has problems handling nuclear waste management, nuclear waste issues, decommissioning issues. And can you imagine American technology and Japanese management could not prevent Fukushima? And can you imagine for a second what would happen with Russian technology and Indian management in our country? Sripal?
Sir, one more question from Mani from Chicago. He is asking, give me 1 second. You said you in your final message you said you asked for support from NRIs. So he's asking how exactly can NRIs support this movement?
Yes. Mani, what I think is you can definitely ask your families to support us in India because we need a favorable public opinion in our country. It's not just about Kudankulam, it's about the future of our country. We need a different energy program. So you could talk to your friends and family back here in India to understand our demands and to support us. That is number one. Number two, when you come to India, please come to visit us and to take interest on these issues. We don't need money. We have enough money. Our people, local people, the poor people donate enough money for us. So we don't need any money from foreign friends, and especially friends like you, because immediately they will jump and hit the ceiling, saying that, oh, this is all foreign funded, NRI funded, and all that nonsense. And if you could, please, in the Chicago area, I know Chicago City very well, if you could organize your friends and do something to express your solidarity and support to our people, that will be the best thing you can do, because that will make a lot of news in the international media. And people here back here in India will also think that young, educated, energetic people who are in the United States are also supporting us. And that will go a long way, Mani.
Okay, if somebody is organizing such an event, how can they communicate back to you about those details, sir?
Yes, Hari, you can send a press release or a message to us. You can use the email address kudankulam@yahoo.com, KWODANKULAM, kudankulam@yahoo.com. If you send us, we can immediately distribute to the media here with the photos or video clipping, something like that. You know how to use the technology much better than we do. You can put it up in YouTube, which will immediately be seen by people around the world. So you can use the social media like Facebook and Twitter and all that.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, sir. I know you're very busy and we appreciate you spending this time with us.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you, and to Shobhita who are organizing all this, and we really appreciate, because people like you can make a huge difference here in India. So we really appreciate your efforts and your help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Bye.
Friends, thanks for dialing in today, and we really appreciate that you continue to listen to us every week. We'll come back with more shows next weekend, but please visit nrisamay.com, because there's some news going to happen pretty soon. We are announcing it, an impact award for an annual NRI Samay Impact Award for somebody who's doing an extraordinary work on the ground level. You can visit us at facebook.com/NRI Samay for the announcement, or you can also go to nrisamay.com/impact, IMPACT. So friends, thanks again for joining, and we hope we'll see you next week. Thank you.